So something hilarious just happened. So I talk to, or we, my team, we talk to people all the time from, all over the country, but all over the world. We're doing some stuff in Asia and Europe and South America. We've got some really good stuff coming up. But part of our company at Epic is agent attraction. They pay us agents, our team leaders, to basically introduce the company to somebody else. We're not recruiters. We're not recruiting. We're not trying to sell something to them to get them to latch on and then say, oh, okay, well, I get revenue share at the company. I guess that's a benefit too, right? And the real benefit is, team leaders are having to pay for like go high level and boot camps and things like that to offer you as an agent to bring them in, because these revenue share companies really don't offer anything like other than revenue share. Hey, we offer 3 CRMs. Great. They all suck. so, so anyway, the funny thing that happened is I'm chatting with this team leader, huge team leader, giant. And I went to Chicago. She said, oh, I seen the videos. By the way, check out the videos. We had a live event. It was superb. But anyway, those times when you're thinking about somebody or you mention their name and boom, the phone rings and they're there. It was one of those moments. And what do they call it? Serendipity, right? Serendipitous moment. So I'm talking to her and she said, yeah, they promised me a boot camp and they promised me this. And I heard that the person that came in, if they got 200 people, they got a watch and whatever. Like all of this garbage noise because the company doesn't offer really anything other than a revenue share. So, and I'm not going to mention the company because pick one of them, just name, right? They anywhere from a 3-letter name to a 5-letter name, they're all the same. So nothing against them. They all served a purpose. I was at one too. And I owned part of one, red and white company, a portion of it a long time ago. So, but anyway, to my point, the funny thing was, she said, yeah, they made all these promises. They were all over me. They were calling my team, whining and dining. They'll talk to anybody. And the second we signed on, boom, they were like Sonic. And I said, what do you mean? And she goes, like Sonic, he just disappears. I started cracking up. I said, Sonic, like the Sonic guy. And she said, yeah. I'm like, I'm totally wearing a Sonic shirt. She says, why? And I said, it's a long story, but it's my son's fave. So I wore it today because I was FaceTiming him because he got a new one and we were comparing shirts. But anyway, I don't know, whatever. I thought it was funny. So it's true, right? I used to say they were like Star Wars because, as soon as you sign off, it was like hyperspeed out of your life, But anyway, to the point is I started thinking about this afterwards is like, yeah, like, I listened to the promises that these people were making her. And they were making her, we'll give you our go high level, we'll give you our boot camp. My upline has a boot camp. They have coaching and we'll give you a mentorship and we'll do that. So why are these teams and these agents having to solicit this if they're supposedly at the most agent-centric company, right? The company should be doing it. But that's the thing. They're all trying to do that. Number one is because they're fumbling over each other, stealing people, trying to get them into their rev share. But more importantly, it's because when you take away all that noise, it's because the company's not really offering anything to be agent-centric other than a revenue share. If you offer a revenue share, it doesn't make you the most agent-centric company because there's like 12 of them now. So I'm at Epic, right? Epique Realty offers something. When I started, there was like 10 benefits, and I thought it was amazing then. But more importantly, we've got like 95 benefits. To explain it to you, it's almost like I need to say, hey, let's go on a weekend retreat, and I'll tell you about it, because there's a lot. But I got to tell you, It's very simple. We do have a revenue share that's the simplest, but we don't just sonic out there. And why we do not is because we have a vested interest in your success. But more importantly, we have area leaders that are local to you. So you might be talking to me in another state. I have an area leader local to you that's a superstar, that's a team leader. Maybe they're just an awesome coach trainer, right? Because some people have moved on from production and they're a great coach now. But you will get it for life. Not on, if you're a new agent, they say, oh, pay your first 3 deals, you got to split them, and then, boom, you're on your own. Life at Epique, so long as you're with us. So don't fall for the noise. Don't fall for the sonics that are making all these promises and disappear out of your life. You need to take a deep look. And if you did look at Epique maybe a year ago, maybe 6 months ago, heck, 2 months ago, we just added more. Dig deep. Take a look at it. You owe it to yourself, but more importantly, if you're a team leader, you owe it to your team. But the biggest thing is, if that is something that you went to a revenue share company to do and it didn't work out, it doesn't mean they're all the same. Agents are coming to Epique whether they have a sponsor promising them something or not. We don't need to. What we promise them is here's what the company has. And that's a promise. You're going to get free prescriptions, car washes, billboards, your signs put up, 92 other benefits, on and on and on. That's a promise. I don't need to promise you go high level. I don't need to promise you a boot camp. I don't need to promise you a Rolex watch if you bring 100 people over in the first year. I don't need to promise you any of that because our company made a promise from the founders at the beginning down to the person that just started today. They made a promise to make a difference and actually offers something that attracts agents to their company, to our company. Take a look at it. I absolutely guarantee you will be surprised. Forget about what your team leader told you. Forget about what the broker said. Forget about what your friend or anybody else that spoke negatively about Epique, because I guarantee if they check it out, they'll come. I actually spoke with somebody who's coming over here who said, I feel so bad because I was just parroting what I heard and I was talking about how it's not true and it doesn't work and you guys are making it up. And I had somebody say, oh, I used to say that your benefits were watered down because there is too many free things for agents. Watered down? How does that ruin our value proposition because we have too much free stuff to give to the agents? Anyway, call me, 248-923-4334, David Elwood. PM me down below. I will respond. You can text me at 248-923-4334. Or, if you'd like, schedule on my Calendly, calendly.com/BEpique. Let's chat. I'm not going to tell you all, the good stuff. There's some stuff that's may or may not work. Let me hear from you and let's figure out, does it work or does it not? We might not be for everybody, but we are a lot of things to a lot of agents and a lot of teams and a lot of high producing agents. By the way, one last thing, look around at your company, at your team, at your peers. Is your company outperforming the industry 4-1, 3 times over the NAR average of the producers? We know 75% didn't. And do they let you do commercial if you're on a residential side? That's something we took down. Pull the wall down, residential and commercial. We give coaching, we give training, we give something different. Give me a call, 248-923-4334. Thanks for listening to my rant.